welcome to a new episode. This is episode 160, Maggie.
Wow.
I know. I actually know that. So it's episode 160 and welcome to the show. This is our last episode of 2021 and we are excited for a new and exciting year, but we do have stuff to show you to get us there, which is really cool. Hope everyone's well out there and that you're ready for a new episode with us. Shall we start off with a winner first?
Yes, I think it's a lovely way to start.
Okay, good. So we pull these randomly, and this winner is Kelly McD, and she said, "Love hearing all about your wonderful yarns. The segment with Emma was especially inspiring and gives me confidence to be creative with color. Would love to hear more about Devonia too." Well, thank you, Kelly McD. Thank you for getting in touch, and you've won a $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle. So just send us an email with your, send us an email with your address. That would be nice. And your email address, which will be on the email. Anyway, put winner all in caps in the subject line, and that way we'll get that out to you right away. We'll pull for another winner later on, I think, in the show.
Yeah.
So well done.
Should we tell them how to be eligible for a prize?
Yes. Why don't you do that?
So to be eligible for a prize, just leave us a comment here on the YouTube channel telling us something that you like about the episode or just a little bit of feedback.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
That's right. Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah, it helps other people find the Shopcast.
Yeah.
And then we pick winners at random for each episode.
Yeah. And we are loving the comments that you guys are leaving. We're trying to actually reply to your comments, and hopefully by the time you're watching this, we have gotten through all the comments from the last episode. They're really, really great to read, though, and very encouraging. So thank you for taking the time to say hello and telling us what you like about the show or the yarn or whatever questions you have, things like that.
Yeah.
We do want to interact with you there, so that's great. Keep it up.
I'm trying to make time even to go in on my own profile and just really comment, because there's so many nice comments. So I'm like, I need to get back to you.
Yeah, it's one of the nicer things about, what we do, though, is getting to chit chat with people. I don't know, though, if when we reply, they get some sort of alert that we've replied.
I don't know.
So we need to find that out, because, we want you to know that we're getting back to you and not just leaving you hanging out there.
I think they do.
They do. They must. Yeah. They have to. Tell us if you do. I don't know. All right. So thank you, Kelly, for leaving a comment. That was lovely. And shall we talk about what we're wearing today?
Sure.
You go.
I'm wearing a little bit of a repeat. It's my Dark and Stormy again. My
Very comfy.
Yeah.
Show us the back properly, though, because it's so lovely. It's got this lovely cabled detail and a little lovely wee cable there too. Yeah. And this is by
Thea Coleman.
That's right. And this was knitted by your sister.
This was knitted by my sister. Yes. Yes. Lovely gift.
Yeah.
And then I'm also wearing another handspun cowl.
Yep.
This one, it's just a lovely textured pattern.
Yeah.
It's a Hannah Fettig. It's from the book Texture. Remember?
Oh yeah, I remember
I
that
bought it here.
a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And
very pretty.
It was a great way to use up a skein of.
Do you remember what it was?
I remember the fibers by On the Round. She's a Maine dyer. And it was her Rhinebeck colorway, maybe 2017, 2018.
I love it. It's got a lot of pink in it, which I always like.
And I wear it a lot. Like it's holding up well.
It's nice and squishy.
It's got those pinks and teals on.
Yeah.
So just wearing that.
So talking about your handspun, you handspun this.
Yes.
Yeah. Talking about that, I am noticing, I don't know if you are, that there's several comments about spinning and wanting to see your spinning.
Yeah. So I did record a little bit. I meant to insert it in the last episode and I forgot to do that. So we just didn't do that. So we can insert it in this episode and you can see it in this little snippet. It's just a couple minutes.
Why don't we do that right now and let everybody see you?
Yeah, so I'm spinning the Yarnadelic top in that little snippet.
All right, we'll see you in a minute.
Hi y'all. I had some requests to get some video of me spinning. And so here it is. I currently have this is Yarnadelic top. I did strip it a little bit into little nests and I'm slowly just working my way through. I'm spinning on a shacked ladybug. That's it. This is a short backward draft. There are lots of different ways to draft. This is just sort of my current default. I don't really have any plans for this spin other than it's just sort of a nice relaxing spin where I'm not thinking too much about it. And I'll be making a bunch of 2-plies for Yarnadelic, and not sure yet what I'm going to do with them, but here you can see the finished yarn will look something like that. I don't know. Let's see, I'll bring the camera in a little. So here we go. Sorry about that. Hope you've enjoyed this little spinning segment. I'll be sure to bring the finished yarn and show it on the Shopcast when it's done. Yeah, so that's me spinning. For anyone interested, I spin on a shacked ladybug wheel. I'm probably not the best person to tell you which wheel to buy if you're interested in a wheel. There's lots of groups and there's lots of amazing wheels out there. Kind of depends on what you want to do. I love my ladybug, but
is the ladybug a portable one? Is that
not I mean, no. I could bring her places. She's lightweight,
yeah.
And but her, like, the treadles don't fold up or anything like that.
All
but
right.
Usually I just spin at home. So
yeah,
especially
I know nothing.
Where am I gonna go?
I'm not a spinner.
So yeah, no, I know, like Ashford, I think I've seen some where they fold and some are really portable. It's not as heavy as the shacked matchless. That one's heavy. It's not travel. So it's more travel friendly than that.
Okay. And what were you spinning there again?
I was spinning the Yarnadelic tops, which we do have some in the shop.
Yep.
It's a Corriedale, Falkland Corriedale.
Soft.
It's really soft and fluffy. And
takes the dye really well.
It's a good for, like, I think it would be good. I started with some merino top because I didn't
You mean when
know.
you first started?
When I first started, and I started on a drop spindle.
Okay. Wow, a drop spindle in merino? You must
so
have
I really
dropped
that spindle.
And the reason we're saying that is because merino is super
It's really soft. It's very fine and very soft, and it's a shorter staple length.
Yeah.
So you've really got to...
You got to know what you're doing maybe a little bit before you start with that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start with that. And you want a nice sort of grabby, sticky yarn to start?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
My, uneducated opinion of which I have many.
It worked. I learned that, wow, that's slippery. And it got done, and the first skein, like, I still have it. I have a little tiny sample, and it's ridiculously thick and lovely. I'll always keep it.
Yeah.
And then I actually switched to some Romney combed, like, pin drafted roving.
Yeah.
And actually that was really hard because I hadn't gotten a good sense that it was such a longer staple length, and so I was really fighting with it.
Were you trying to put too much twist into it or something? Or not enough?
Not enough, and I think I just didn't give, because based on the staple length is how far you're going to draft your hands apart, and I was treating it like the Romney, so I was really fighting it.
Yeah.
And it was only like a year later that I was like, oh, that's what I was doing wrong. So I think just anytime you're learning anything, you're just giving yourself the patience and the freedom to just learn and play with it.
Low expectations.
Yeah. There are some amazing spinning groups out there. I've never taught anyone to spin.
Well, I think you're an excellent spinner. Your work is beautiful. And
Thank you.
I say that having tried a little bit of drop spindling and a little bit of wheel spinning, and I did it in a class, and oh my God, it was so bad. And I haven't taken to it, which is fine because, I only have time for knitting, I think.
Right.
So Not that it's a...
No, I mean,
You know
and
what I'm
I've been
saying.
surprised at what I can get accomplished in just sort of even 15 minutes of spinning.
Yeah.
I try to aim for that every day, but some days it just doesn't happen. But
That sounds nice though, like meditative.
yeah,
and-
it's especially like even in the video, I just kind of sat down and was just sort of my default mindless spinning that I don't really have to think about.
Yeah.
Not trying to control things too much.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
out for a spin.
That's so funny though. I'm sorry that I said that because it really, really gets on my nerves when people are like, I don't have time to knit. Like, how'd you find all that time to knit? I just did that to you.
It's okay.
It's not.
I
I'm
don't take
sorry.
it personally. I think
No.
too, like it's like I really had that bee in my bonnet. Like once I saw some of the yarns that people were making and the projects, and I was like, well, how'd they get that? That was the thing that really made me want to spin.
You were interested in that. Yeah.
The entry level costs for a wheel were a little off-putting. I wanted to make sure I would really like it before I invested, so I started with a drop spindle.
Yeah.
And I learned that I loved the finished yarn, but I didn't love spindling. And I have a really nice spindle. I still have it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I haven't used it in like 4 years.
But it must take a lot longer to spin by drop spindle than on a wheel.
Yeah, although I've seen some amazing spinners who spin just on drop spindles. They love their drop spindles, and they can really crank out some yardage.
Wow.
So,
yeah. I guess it's whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't know what floats your boat until you start
playing
boats.
Well, I hope you enjoyed all that little spinning interlude. If you want to know more about spinning, let us know in the comments because we can work to include some more of that or anything else that you'd like us to chit chat about.
I don't know if I actually said it, but I think that the Corriedale would actually be a decent first fiber to spin with because it's a slightly longer. It is smooth and it is fluffy, but it's not as slippery as merino.
Right.
And it's a longer staple length, so it's friendly.
Yeah, you get a bit more time to get the draft in maybe with that. And that is the Yarnadelic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, good. So, and I'm wearing, of course, my Victory today. The weather is cold now, and I'm really loving this. It's comfortable, and I have a bee in my bonnet about knitting another one of these in green. Yeah, so I think
I like the green in the
I like the green. I think I can't remember which green it is, but it's sort of it's the one that Tina knit her. Yeah.
We should have grabbed that. Tina works here. She knit a vanilla sweater.
Her first ever sweater, and I think her second only knitting project. I think she knit a hat, and then she knit.
She may have knit more than one hat, but not that
couple
many
of hats. Yeah. And then she knit a vanilla sweater, and it's gorgeous. And she even made some modifications to it, which just blows me away.
Yeah.
Such talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she knit it in Finullgarn, but the color is the same.
The color is the same as what I want to knit this in. So yes, this is lovely. It's very cozy and comfy. And if you have bought the kit, thank you so much. I hope you're knitting on it. I am seeing photos in the Facebook group, which is really, really awesome. And, you know, some of you are steeking for the first time, which I hope is not too scary. And of course, there's the course as well, if you want to have a little bit more instruction through the project as well. All right, so that's what I'm wearing. The holidays are coming soon. Oh, wait, before that, though, we do have Caitlin joining us today, so we'll flip over to Caitlin in just a minute. She has some news, and what's she talking about this time?
She is talking about some special projects, little project ideas to use up your single skeins. Yes, precious single skeins.
Yes, so that'll be really good. So stay tuned for that. And the holidays are very, very soon. We have today, which is Friday the 17th, and then Christmas is next weekend after this. So we will not have an episode out until the new year.
The other thing that'll be in this episode that I think I forgot to mention is that Rachel has sent us a video from Fair Isle, and that will be included in this episode.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. So we'll have Rachel and Caitlin. You've already seen her spinning. Brilliant. That's good. That's good. Yeah. I always enjoy hearing from Rachel. I know. Now we got to make sure we actually put it in
pinked
here.
up a little there.
You're like, I did it.
Got it in.
The amount of stuff that we forget to tell you is quite a lot, right?
It is.
And we talk a lot, and then we're like, but we forgot this and we forgot that. Yeah. Even though I have notes. Oh, all right, so why don't we go into the, what are we knitting on?
What are we knitting on?
Yeah.
I brought in my Defiant cardigan, even though it's not yet a cardigan.
And I just want to say, too, that we're really enjoying seeing all the pictures of selection boxes and grab bags going out into the world. We're starting to see a lot of those. So
Yes.
keep posting. They're really fun to see where they're going.
Yes.
But go ahead.
I know some people too, they're not going to open it until Christmas. Or holidays, so
that's what I
can't
would
wait
try
to
and
see
do.
it then.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd have the willpower.
Yeah, it takes all sorts.
But some people are already knitting from theirs, which is amazing, and that's fun to see those projects too. So.
Yeah, do what you want. Do what you want.
Anybody new who hasn't been here, I'm knitting a sweater from the Scandinavian Sweaters book. Don't mind my bookmark.
Which we stock. This is a beautiful book.
I love this book.
From Kristen Wiola.
Yes. She has a new book out, but I don't think it's in English yet.
Do we care? I'm not sure.
So I'm knitting the Defiant cardigan.
Which is lovely.
And again, for anyone who wasn't here previously, I have 2 sleeves. They look like sleeves. I can pull them out and show them. But I knit most of the body and then I ripped it out because it was too small.
Knit it all the way up to...
Oh, I was like here.
Yeah. And
so...
This looks good.
So this looks good. Feels
Fantastic.
good.
Yeah.
I should probably check my gauge, but I'm a little afraid to. But
So she's got a steek running up the middle there.
Yeah.
This is color work, and there is a pearl bump on the gold.
Yeah, I can zoom in.
Oh, it's so pretty. Very pretty.
So I'm making progress. I'm really hoping to have it done by Christmas, but that might not happen. But I've been just working on this. It's just not fast.
You know, and that's the thing, though.
And it's okay. It'll get done when it's done, but it'd be really nice to wear it for Christmas.
Oh.
So.
If
not, it'll be New Year's. What actually made me feel better, so I looked at my own Instagram because I was like, what? Thinking about the year 2021, I'm like, what have I feel like I haven't finished anything.
You've been knitting bigger things, maybe.
I've been knitting bigger things, and I'd always been a small project knitter.
Mm-hmm.
And I still like some palette cleansing small projects. They're very nice. But it was funny because this time last year I was finishing up my sweater from the sweater cow, so I still wasn't done. So apparently it takes me like 4 or 5 months to finish the sweater, and that one was not color work. It was just a sweater.
No, yeah. No, this is amazing.
And I've been thinking about ripping that one out.
Oh, for goodness sakes. This is beautiful. This is beautiful, and it'll be gorgeous when it's done. I am still toying with the idea of knitting from that book as well over the holidays. I also have been hankering to knit some hats, but I haven't been able to get my act together. But the Buness Tam, which we'll put a picture there, we just populated kits of that. We got some of the colours in.
It's really pretty.
And I've always liked that. It's very pink and
I was going to say the pinks in it.
The pinks, it's just lovely. So I think I see myself wearing lots of different little Tams on my head this winter.
There you go.
So, and like I said last time, a dopamine hit is a good thing because I am always knitting on big projects. So yeah, I think I will be knitting another Victory, but what I'm knitting right now, and I haven't made a huge amount of progress, though I did just finish the body.
Decent amount of progress.
I you know that thing about all knitting is good knitting? I've been there because I made this very much longer than it actually needed to be. It was down past my hips by the time I cast it off. I'm like, what am I thinking? So I ripped
Tunic.
Yes, another one. You can see where I blocked it. I blocked it along here, and so the bottom half is unblocked. You can see how smooth the top half is being blocked. And of course, this is the vanilla fluff knitted in Rauma Finullgarn and a strand of their Rauma plum, which is Mohair. And this is a dream. This is so soft and fluffy. Doesn't make me itch or snuffly or anything like that. It seems totally fine. And I'm knitting it at a different gauge than the original vanilla sweater because there is more yarn going on each stitch, and I want it to stay nice and drapey. I showed you last time, but I love these little picot-y things.
And someone asked, is that going to be in the pattern?
So I'll make sure that this is in the pattern. I think what I'll do is I'll write the pattern for just a rib so that you can just finish off without too much fuss. Or you can do this. This takes a little bit of work, but I think it's worth it. It's so pretty. And it's only the mohair. So it's very fluffy and soft, which is nice. I am now ready I picked up the sleeves on this one. I picked up the sleeve and I'm ready to start knitting that down. I think I'm going to make it full length with the I-cord thingamabob at the bottom, so it's sort of like a bell sleeve. I think I haven't knit it yet, so I'm not 100% sure. On this side I've got my knitting barber cord, and we did just get more of those in. Those are really helpful and useful. I did though just make it a 1x1 waistband, so that's why I'm sort of hesitating now, is because I've got different things going on. I've got this lovely fluffy thing around the neck. I've got a 1x1 here. I should probably just make this a 1x1 cuff as well, or make this an I-cord. I think these should be the same, whatever I end up doing. Anyway, the pattern is being written up as I knit this, and so far so good. The big difference is the gauge, because I think some people have knitted the vanilla sweater with mohair at the same gauge, and I think that's totally fine and good. And you know, if you want to do that, you should do it for sure. I wanted to try and keep this feeling kind of drapey, so I did change the gauge and go up. And this is going to feel really warm and snuggly.
I know you did mention the knitting barber cords. Do you want to explain how they work, just in case they weren't here the last time?
Yeah. Let me see if I've got one.
Because it's pretty cool.
It's really cool. So this is one of them. You get a tin with 3 cords in them. This is a sleeve cord, and then you get an even longer one for the body. So you get 2 of these and one for the body. And the point of these is to get your needle on and off your knitting. And let's see, get myself set up here to show you. So you have your stitches on your needle, and then this cord is hollow, and you are able to push it on the needle as far as it will go. Let's see, can I do this in a way that you can see? I don't want this to get stuck. All right, and then I'm being a little bit careful because there's 2 strands. There's that little strand of mohair, but see how I'm pulling it through and off the needle, which is very nice and quick, like that. And then it's there. And of course, it's quicker than this typically, but I'm holding this out at the camera and not resting it on my lap and things. So there you go. And when you get to the end, you can just pull it off and you've saved your stitches on there. So that's what it's for. And then you can do the same in reverse to get your needle back in. You would just put it on. And I think this works with a lot of different size needles.
Yeah, and that's a game changer for trying on your sweater.
It is. It's so much faster than doing the tapestry tapestry needle.
Right.
So now I'm just sort of very, so you want to pull this side. Could you hold it so it's not hanging? Thank you. And then I'm sort of feeding my needle back through. Normally this would just be sitting in your lap. Okay.
Or you get a friend.
Or you get a friend. Knitting with friends. Okay, so now I pulled the needle all the way through. Pull that off. My stitches are back on the needle. Woohoo! Woohoo! So yes, these come in a bajillion different colors. Not quite a bajillion, but several different colors. And they're from the Knitting Barber, and she's located in Finland. So we're getting those in from Finland for you. You guys are loving them, which is really fun.
Yeah.
They're a quick, nice little thing just to have in your toolkit, I think. I'm using mine. I was not convinced when I first saw them, like, I'm fine with a tapestry needle. I don't need these, you know, these things. But actually giving it a go, it was like, oh, quick and easy. Keep knitting. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I like to keep knitting.
Yes.
So that's what I'm knitting on, and you're knitting on that.
Yep, that's it.
All right, so let's talk about what's in the shop quickly. So we have Jamieson and Smith cones in stock starting today. These are 500 grams, 2,500 yards, which is such a lot. This is their 2-ply, of course, 2-ply jumper weight. And whenever we get these in, we sell right out of them. So if you're interested, hop on over to the shop right away. 2,500 grams is a lot, but we have a lot of the neutral colors as well. And these are really good to get and use over time. You can use them for lots of projects. You can use it as the main color of your sweater.
Gotta sniff it.
They don't notice us sniffing things.
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think they're doing it at home too.
I know, right? More sniffing. So these are,
Sorry.
I've lost my train of thought. What are these? Jameson Smith 2-ply jumper weight. So these are great for knitting your main color and then having a couple of balls to do your contrast color yoke or what have you. Or if you have 2 of these, you could certainly do a star cardie, which unfortunately we don't have, or do we have? Sorry.
This is FC61.
I think these are the 2 for the blue star cardie.
So FC61 and 36.
So these 2, I don't know how many we've got in stock, but we do have at least these ones. The star cardie is a beautiful, we'll put a picture here, it's a beautiful cardie designed for us by Donna Kay of New Hampshire, and one of them is this lovely blue combo. So you would have lots of leftovers is what I'm trying to say though, but you could do that. And then we've got these lovely grays up here. This is 54.
I think too, like just the amount of sheer yardage.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't put me off.
No,
at all.
does
like,
not.
You're just gonna
knit from it and knit from it and knit from it.
Yeah.
This is 54, which is a staple base color. I think that's 203 up there and 27 over there. So we have a good supply of the neutrals, and then we have some of our best-selling colors.
Yep.
This color is 1283 and it's so pretty in pink. And of course these are dyed in the wool, so you can see all the different shades in there. It's just lovely.
See 1280.
I love that one too. Gorgeous. Yeah, so and plus this is so economical. If you were to buy, how many balls would this be? 20 balls? Yeah, this would be 20 balls. So buying it on the cone is very economical, and also when you buy it on the cone, it has not been washed, which means after it's been spun and put on the cone, it's not then put through a process where it gets to fluff up, and so it's still in the mill oil, which this feels soft enough to me.
It does, yeah.
Sometimes, you know, you might feel like it's a little bit ropey while you're knitting with it, or a little bit flat.
I think you notice it more in the undyed
But I don't even notice it on this. Maybe I'm just used to it though.
I don't know.
But I mean, it looks fairly fluffed up there. It's not flat. I have knitted, you know, off a cone and it feels quite flat, but as soon as you put it in the water to soak and block, it just blooms up. You might see some cloudy residue come off in the water because that's the mill oil. But that's all fine, good and normal. Not anything to worry about. And it's so nice to have this sit on the floor and just sort of, you know, you pull from it and it's not bouncing all over the place.
And less ends to weave in.
And less ends to weave. Yes, absolutely. We like that. So yeah, we do like our cones, and we're trying to get as many of them in as we can. I don't know when we'll get stocked up in these again. So if you're in the market, now's the time.
I must be super nerdy. I was really excited to get my first cone. The last restock, I was like, I got a cone.
Which one did you get?
81.
Oh, yeah, 81 we cannot seem to keep in stock at all or get now. So
yeah, the minute it was in stock, I'm like,
shopping. I love that. I love that.
Yep.
We also have Retrosario just coming in today.
Yes.
And we have a top up of her the Mondim, the sock yarn.
Mondim.
Brusca, which we had before too. That's her DK. And now we have added Vovo to the collection. And these are them.
I just love this label. It's a little knitting grandma.
She's a tattooed granny.
So we've been told that Vovo in Portuguese means grandma.
Right.
So.
And she's got a sheep. She's hugging a sheep. If this isn't me in a few years, although I don't have tattoos, but she's got good tattoos. There's cups of tea and a sheep and flowers and sun.
What a happy looking sheep too.
I know. So this comes from Portugal, obviously, and it's 100% fine Portuguese wool from Portugal. It is non-superwash, and this batch is 100% made from the wool of Campanissa sheep, a native breed from southern Alentejo and Algarve. Of course, Algarve is, I think, the coast in Portugal. This color here is color 25. All right.
And the cream is color 20.
Yeah. And there's pretty good pattern support for these two, for this yarn. Okay, this here is color 11. we'll put a picture here, but Jen Steingass's latest design, we believe, is in Volvo.
Yeah, she's released a couple, so it's actually not her latest because she's had
Oh, for
little
sure.
flurry, but it's
Yeah.
I think it's called Norwood,
Yeah.
and it's a 2-color cowl.
And it's knitted in this. Didn't that turn into a sweater as well, though?
Yeah, she released them both at the
Yeah,
same time.
yeah, it's really lovely. So we'll put a picture of that here.
Yeah.
This yarn is soft, isn't it?
It is really soft.
Yeah.
Like not merino soft,
No.
but it's not toothy. It would be easy to wear.
Yeah, really easy to wear.
I plan on knitting that cowl after I finish my sweater first.
Here is color 5, which is a lovely green. This is the sort of green I want to knit my Victory in.
I don't think I said what this was, did I?
Not sure.
I think I was just
Say it
holding
again.
So it's 03. I don't know
Nice
if I said
blue.
that, sorry. This red is pretty. It's 09.
Gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
24. A nice dusky green.
This is 01. It's a nice brown.
I think that's an undyed. That's my guess.
So pretty.
Is that it?
I think so.
Did we do
you
the-
show the purple?
I'm not sure we did this one. This is 08, which is very pretty. So these are 50-gram balls. Let me double check that. Yeah, 50-gram balls. US 4 through 7 is what they're recommending to knit this at. Yeah, so that's good. We think a lot of you will be really tickled to have this. It's so nice of Jen Steingass to put out a pattern as we're bringing this yarn into the shop. So nice. But there is quite a bit of pattern support, and we'll link to some of those in the yarn page for you, so you can see what you can knit with that. Books. We have some new books.
We do have some new books.
Oh, Lina. We have Lina 13. It's here. This was delayed because of COVID, and then it showed up nice and early.
Yep.
So, I just love the smell of new books and magazines. So good. I'm having a wee look through here. So, what do we know about issue 13? There's, it's gender neutral.
It's gender neutral, and actually this one is knit holding two, you marled two, I can't talk. Sorry.
Try again.
So this pattern, you use 2 colors of JNS, and you hold them together, and it creates a nice marling.
Wow. Jamieson and Smith 2-ply?
Yeah.
There you go. I hadn't caught that.
It's this one.
Yeah, this one here.
It's really pretty.
It looks like there's some stitch definition on there too.
Yeah. Interesting, different little textured parts.
Yeah,
and,
texture, yeah.
But yeah, I think the theme of this one is gender neutral knits, and sort of classic designs that you're going to loop back around to.
Yeah.
And kind of good for the whole family.
Yeah. Yep. Those are some crazy cables. Oh, this is pretty. A little bit of color blocking there. Really nice. So yeah, so we're very happy to have this back, or not back, have this in the shop at all, really, because we thought we were going to have to wait quite a while.
I like that one too.
Yeah. So that is in now. So grab yours if you haven't already. If you've pre-ordered, you should have this by now. By the time you're seeing this, we should have sent it out.
And then we have a couple of new books from Hélène Magnússon.
Yep. Icelandic knits.
Icelandic knits.
We did have this before. This, shall we just open these? They're
It would
wrapped
make
in
it
plastic.
easier.
Yeah. This is a reprint of a book that we had before, but it used to be hardback, and now it's softback and wrapped in plastic, so you'll have a lovely protected book. Here we go. Icelandic hand knits. This did really well when we had it before. Look at. That is Hélène Magnússon, the designer, wearing that. Which one is that?
And this one is Socks of Iceland, which is really pretty. Look at the
Yeah.
color.
Oh, we haven't. Oh, wow. We haven't had this one before. That must be her
I
newest
might have to
book.
branch out on my sock knitting.
I know.
Maybe next year,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm out a year.
It'll have to be next year.
Oh, these are pretty.
Lacy socks. Yeah.
Lacy socks.
Pretty. Mittens. So lots
These are
of.
the same socks, but just look at that. It just looks so pretty.
Yeah. Gorge. Very traditional. There's some pretty Icelandic sheep for you with our long outer coats there.
Very nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we'll be having our accessory cowl next year in February, as we often do. We have for the last few years. Oh, pretty.
Yep.
And
this also includes, it looks like, other sort of historical information.
yeah, I was just going to show you this. Yeah. So you get to learn a little bit about Iceland and traditional costumes.
Precious.
Yeah. There's charts for your color work in here.
Very nice.
Yeah, so these are just in, and check them out if that interests you. Okay, so I think we should go to Caitlin, or should we go to Shetland?
Let's go to Shetland.
Okay, we'll see you after.
Hello Woolly Thistlers, it's Rachel from Barkland Croft here on Fair Isle. I apologise that I'm having to re-record this audio as my phone decided not to pick up anything that I was saying. So here I am with Busby, who is feeling very proud of himself because he's decided that he was clearly the model for the sheep on the Woolly Thistle selection boxes and tote bag and little pin brooch as well. So trying to get a shot of his best side here. Well, it's that time of year again when I'm having to start feeding the sheep the hay and silage. That's really to sort of help them keep going through the winter months where there's no grass for them to eat in the fields. And as you can see, even the ones with horns figure out how to get their heads in so they can get to the hay. There's Marble and Blackjack. That's Sir Didymus. That's one of this year's lambs.
Ernest, don't be mean.
Ernest giving poor Conker a bit of a bash. Some of this year's lambs are still a little bit afraid of the ring feeder and going in so close with all the other boys, so they've not quite figured it out yet. So I've put them some extra bits of hay down that they can get to, so they're still managing to get some. We had our own little Thanksgiving celebrations, although Violet was far more interested in eating than the turkey. But Saucepan was a great model, and he had a lot of fun walking around with his turkey friend on his back. Of course, the bad weather always hits on the occasion that you're trying to get off the Isle, and on Thursday when I checked the forecast for Friday, which was the day I was due to travel, this was the forecast for the afternoon. As you can see, that's the wind speed in miles per hour. Despite us then getting the first snow of the season later on Thursday, they did eventually manage to get a plane in on the Thursday afternoon, so I was able to finally get off Isle. good job that I did get out on the Thursday plane, as this was Friday's forecast for Fair Isle and there were no flights. However, the weather in Shetland was no better, and they even cancelled the Northlink ferry that I was due to sail south on. So with a couple of days to kill in Lerwick before the next ferry, I thought I'd go to one of my favourite places, the Shetland Museum and Archives and their textiles collection, and show you around. Well, I do owe you a bit of an apology, as what you've seen in this video is only kind of about half of what I was wanting to share with you. Thanks, Meg. It's basically, I've been on a trip south, which is very exciting, and I so desperately wanted to share it with you. But unfortunately, the organisers have said we're not yet allowed to share it with people. It's still a bit top secret. I hope I'm not building it up too much now, and that you'll be disappointed in my next video when hopefully I can share it. But there will be a part 2 to what I've just shown you. And all it really remains for me to say is thank you all so much, every one of you, for your support this year, for buying my wool, my pattern, knitwear, for following along on the videos here on the Woolly Thistle, and for all your kind comments. And I wish I wish each and every one of you a very happy Christmas and a very merry New Year. And here's to peace and happiness in 2022. Cheers.
So wasn't that great? I always love visiting Rachel in Shetland there. So, and we're really appreciative of her sending these postcards in once a month. Yeah. Really happy. Hope you're enjoying that. So now it's time to announce another winner. And this winner is Sandra Corp. And she says, just received my deluxe selection box. So good. She added the emphasis, not me. Lots of woolly wool and lovely things. Keep offering these lovely boxes. They are gifts to self. Well, that's lovely. I'm so happy you're happy. That makes us very happy here, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So thank you so much for leaving a comment. And all you need to do is send us an email to info@thewoollythistle. Put winner all in caps, and we will get that $25 gift card out to you so that you can shop some more. So now we've got Caitlin, and I think we'll let Caitlin take us out. But before we go, we both want to just say thank you so much for a great year. I can't believe 2021 is under the belt already, and we're looking at 2022. But if you celebrate Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever holidays that you're observing, we hope you have a wonderful time, and that your new year gets off to a great new start, and lots of knitting. Are you planning to do anything over the holidays?
We're gonna go visit my sister.
Yeah.
Haven't seen her, I don't think, since summer.
Oh, good. Maybe we need to send some yarn down with you, and we can get her knitting.
That never hurts.
I know. And then, and I'm staying home, but I'm really looking forward to having some time off with the kids and not having to get up first thing in the morning. Yep. So that'll be good, and I will be knitting. I don't know what yet. I need to get my ducks in a row. But just thank you for a wonderful year this year. It's been a crazy roller coaster here at the Woolly Thistle, and we love it, and we are just really enjoying what we do. So thank you for that, and also make sure you watch all the way to the end after Caitlin, because we are getting in the habit of putting some of your photos up at the end. So see if you spot yourself. Be sure to send us photos. Just use the hashtag #TheWoollyThistle or at us at the Woolly Thistle on Instagram, so that we can find these and share them with you on the podcast. So what is Caitlin talking about today? Single skeins, precious single skeins, and ideas for that. So I can't wait for that, because we all have that supply, I'm sure, of things that we need to knit up or just break into that precious skein. So thank you, Caitlin, for joining us, and we will see you in 2022. Keep knitting, and remember, if you go out,
take your knitting.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi everyone, nice to be here again today. I have a few random things to show you and talk about today, so let's just jump right in. First, I am wearing the Ramona cardigan. This is a design by Elizabeth Smith. It was written for an Aran weight yarn, and I knit mine in piece fleece. It doesn't call for that, but I think it turned out really nicely in piece fleece. The color here is Kalinka Malinka. It's kind of a bluish, grayish green. Peace fleece is really nice because it has these beautiful heathered, kind of tweedy almost colors. And you can't quite see the halo of mohair here, but there is a bit of one. Just a nice cozy design. It's got this fun, like a broken garter rib at the bottom here. So there's that. I want to show you one of my recently finished objects, which turned out to be really fun. And then I have a few ideas for you on how to use up a special skein of yarn. I know especially a lot of you who have received a selection box lately, or who are just kind of special yarn collectors. You probably have a lot of skeins of just like one special skein of yarn with a story, which is something that we just love here. And maybe you're looking for a way to use that. So I just have a couple of ideas for you. So first I'll show you what I just finished making. This is a hat for my husband. He mentioned needing a new hat. I've made him a few Jason's hat designs. It's a very basic cabled hat, but he mentioned wanting something that was a little bit thicker to wear when the weather gets cold and windy. Now Kelsey, one of our teammates here at the Woolly Thistle, she, just the day my husband mentioned it, she posted that she had just knit this hat. And it's called the Musselburgh Hat by Ysolda Teague. And she based it on a retro pattern. And it's the cool thing about it is that it's double lined. It has like a completely lined interior, so it's super warm. It's actually quadruple thick when you fold up the brim here to cover your ears. And so I knew that that was the pattern I was going to be looking for, and I think this turned out pretty great. So the original pattern does not include the color work. I just looked in a book of like Fair Isle charts and just kind of picked a few. Once I had done you actually start at the top, and so you increase as you go. Once I'd done the increases, then it was just straight knitting for a long time. So I just added a couple of charts in kind of whatever order I felt like. And then this is the cool thing about it, is you actually knit a big long tube after you've increased, and then you decrease down again at the end, and then just bind off these last couple of stitches here. And then the whole thing just folds into itself, which can be a little tricky to pull off, but it just folds back into itself, and then you've got a doubly thick hat. The other cool thing about this pattern is that it is designed for any weight of yarn. She recommends something like fingering up to a DK, but basically all you do is you start with these couple of stitches, you knit until you've got about a 1-inch square that you can measure your gauge, and then she has this chart that tells you if you're getting this gauge, increase to this many, and then knit for this long. And there's a bunch of sizes too. So I was really impressed with the pattern and the versatility. You could do, the entire thing plain. You could do the first half in the kind of outer color, and then you could add a strand of mohair to have that kind of against your skin on the inside. You could do all kinds of stuff with this, so just wanted to show you that. I just used stash yarn. This is DK weight. Actually, I got away with the gold is actually fingering, but yeah, pretty endless possibilities here. So I wanted to show you that. And then, like I mentioned, I just have a couple of ideas of ways to use up a special skein. So I have a few examples of things that I've done in the past. Being a hand spinner, I have a big collection of, one-off skeins I don't know exactly what to do with. Sometimes I don't even know what gauge I got. Depending on my mood and how quickly the project went, my gauge might be totally off from one end of the skein to the other. I'm not very precise in my spinning sometimes. I just kind of do it for the fun of it. So one project that I did use my hand spun for that doesn't really need much you know, careful attention to size or gauge is a pillow. So this is just a big knitted square, and I added kind of a fun stitch pattern. This is some hand spun, and this is actually Rowan Felted Tweed. And yeah, the fun thing about knitting something like a pillow is that you can see it every day. It's not like a hat that you only wear every once in a while, but it kind of puts that special skein right out in front on display for you to see and enjoy every day. So yeah, one thing that I did with this one is I didn't know what size I was going to end up with, because this was one of those skeins where I didn't know what my gauge was going to be, even from beginning to end. I think it changes. So I just knit a big square, and then on the back I put a felted fabric. I wouldn't necessarily recommend felt because it doesn't hold its shape once it gets kind of stretched out and pulled. So this one actually looks really rough on the back. It's seen a lot of use from my 4-year-old and needs some depilling. I'll do that later. But the other thing that I did with this is I just made an insert after I knew what the dimension was of the pillow. And then I actually made the insert two-sided. I wasn't sure if just a regular white insert would show through the knitting. So I used the felt on the front side of the insert. So if it does show through, you know, if you kind of pull this apart sometimes, you can't see that white showing through. So anyway, one idea of something special you can do that's not just an accessory that you only will get to wear every once in a while, but can see every day. But speaking of accessories, those are also fun. So I wanted to show you this shift cowl by Andrea Mowry that I made out of some hand spun. These were 3 different colors of hand spun that I used. They all have a little bit of sparkle in them, which isn't my typical go-to, but yeah, just this was a fun pattern to just play with. The shape of it is very interesting to see come together, and I think, you know, it takes like 3 skeins. I think I probably had about 100 grams of each, and the stitch pattern is just so fun. You can show off kind of a few special skeins, and she's got this whole collection of shift type patterned, you know, a larger shawl, a sweater, a hat too. So there's kind of another little idea for you. Another accessory that I did in some hand spun is the yarn optimizer cowl. This is by Susan Ashcroft. Fun thing about this one is she tells you in the pattern like how to make it the appropriate size for how much yarn you have. So this was another hand spun. It was a self-striping from a braid from a hand dyer that just turned out really fun. It's kind of knit on the bias a little bit. You're increasing and decreasing on the ends to make this pretty cool kind of flow. If you have something that stripes, you can use, you know, mini skeins, you can use the grab bags, all kinds of options here. So yarn optimizer cowl by Susan Ashcroft, another fun idea. I think this was less than 4 ounces, no, yeah, less than 4 ounces total. So like one special skein could potentially make one of these. I usually wear it kind of doubled around. It fits kind of nicely as a small, easy to wear cowl. And then another idea I have for incorporating those special skeins is to use it in a larger project. There are so many beautiful yoke sweaters out there, and I know a lot of us like to knit color work, and just using that special skein as the color work and then choosing a more basic yarn for the rest of the sweater is a way to use one of those special skeins without having to commit to an entire sweater's worth of that yarn. I think a customer recently was looking to use some Daughter of a Shepherd, and I recommended the Douglas Cardi by Andrea Mowry. She designed that sweater to be using Tukuwool DK, but it's got these thick button bands down the front, and then that same accent color for the cuffs and the hem ribbing. And I think one or two skeins, probably two skeins of the Daughter of a Shepherd would be perfect for something like that, where you want to show off kind of the one color, the one skein. And I just have one example of a yoke sweater that I did use kind of a special souvenir yarn for. This could also use a little gleaning. This is the Radiate sweater by Joji Locatelli, and I had this souvenir skein of kind of speckly hand dyed, and then just some basic sweater quantity of the blue. And this skein was 4 ounces, and I had plenty left over from knitting my size in this sweater. So it's just a pullover. These are all just like a mosaic knitting, sort of every other row using the opposite color and then kind of slipping the stitches to create these lines. Then you're increasing every once in a while. It was really fun to knit, and I think really showcases the special yarn up towards the top. So there you have a few of my ideas. Oh, and one more idea is just collect skeins and enjoy them. I have a few just sitting up on a shelf to enjoy visually. Yeah, take your time thinking through a project you'd like to use them for, or just enjoy your collection. And yeah, I just also wanted to let you know that I won't unfortunately be seeing you for a little while. I'm going to take a couple months off from doing the Shopcast. That's to have a baby in the next few weeks, so happy reason. And I'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of months. Just in case you're wondering where I am for a while, that's where I've disappeared to. And look forward to being back again soon. Thanks so much, and we will talk to you then. Bye.